Welcome to the Voicethread tutorial. Look, I'm just going to go through the basics of how you can set it up, and then I'll point out the tutorials, which are going to be much more thorough and give you a bit more information about how you can use it. This program is really good for creating interactive conversation with a presentation. So if you have a topic that you want to present, you can have an interactive way of seeing what people comment, and people can comment in real time, or they can comment later on. So they've got access to the particular presentation in class or at home. So it's a really good tool to use. And let me just go through some of the what you can do. And the best way to start is with the home page, which is here. So after you've registered, you'll get this. And you've signed in, you'll get this page. So you've got home, browse, and create. If you're on home, you'll get this, and I've already created one presentation. So the first thing that you can do is to create is the best way to show you how to use it. So just clicking on create, you get this page. And the great thing about this is you can get students in your Voicethread to comment on different media, whether that be a Google Doc, whether it be a Word document, PowerPoint. It could be an audio file, a movie. You can comment on all of it. So what I'm going to do is I've got some PowerPoints over here, so I'm going to actually show you how to use that. So there's a drop list here, or you can add media to it. So I'm going to add these 3 PowerPoints, which I've put in separately, in separate files. However, you can drop a whole PowerPoint and it'll come up in different slides. So let me show you. So I put these 3 in. It'll come up with this screen, and you can put in a title, and I'm going to put in discussion. So these, and language unit 4. So the slides that I'm putting in, they are related to the discussion activity, option 2 in unit 4. You can also add a description. I'm just going to skip that for now. Now, playback options. One of the issues with this is that because I'm not a paid member, or we won't be paid members, we can't enable comment moderation, which means that we can stop students seeing certain comments, and we can make it, if we want, for example, if we have comments from one class and we want to share them with another, but we want it in certain time, we can enable comment moderation. So that's one of the problems. The other one is that you can't allow others to copy with this particular basic membership. Anyway, I'm going to say this. You can also add, sorry, I should say a cover art if you want to. I'm not going to do that. So you'll get this page, and so I've already added those 3. I can then add another one if I want. So I've got an intro page to that. And, well, we just wait for it. What I can do is I can change the order. So I can move this to the beginning. I can also edit a page, and I can give it a title, and I can create a link to it. I can also download this PowerPoint, which is pretty awesome right here. Just going to save that. So now I've got my 4, and that's pretty much the Voicethread created, which is pretty sweet. The next thing to do is that you can make a comment yourself. So the cool thing about this is that if you want to explain your instructions, you can do that from the opening page. So I might just go back, and I'll just click on this down here. So here we've got our front page. Now I can create a comment here with make a comment. So I can create a text comment if I would like. I can create a voice comment or a video. So if I want to explain these instructions, I can do that quite easily. So I can click on the record an option, and it'll pop up with this screen, and it'll say allow. So click on that, and you can record a comment in this section to discuss what the instructions of the task are if you want. So the good thing is here is that you can also point out certain things, which is you can press the red button, the pencils here, and you can draw students' attention to it. So if I want them to follow the instructions, I can then also, which is a pretty cool technique, is that while I'm still recording, I can go to the next slide and explain the questions. So if I click on it again, have your parents told you any stories from your childhood? And I can go through more information. And so then I can listen to what I've recorded down the bottom here, and I can save it. If I like what I've said, I can save it. If I don't, I can cancel and go back. So it's a great option for the students as well. So I just save it, and it'll pop up with an icon on the side here, and the students can listen to it if they like, and it'll load in a second. So what I can then do is that if I go to click on the next page, I could possibly add an example comment here. So I could give them an example of how to answer this question, which is a really neat trick. So that's sort of the basics of that part. I'm just going to go back to edit, which up here, if you click on this, you've got your options, and I click on edit. So here we go, we've got our 4. And to share a document like this, so to give a link, just tap on share, and you can copy the link here, and then put it somewhere else. Unfortunately, you can't create a secure link, which is a bit of an issue, but you know, like what we've been doing on Padlet, you've got your copied link here, which is fine, and the students can access it. So what we can do is, I'll just go out and I'll go back to home. So now I've got my 2 options. So I'm just going to click on this one here, and you'll get this page. So I'm just going to turn this off. Okay, so now I've already added a comment that the students can listen to on this page, and then what they can do is they might want to make a comment. So they could comment in this, ask a question, I'm not quite sure about what to do with this page, and they can record it, or they could type it. And then the same on this page, so then they can answer their question. So it's really a useful technique, and you can do it with any file, so you can zoom in and go back and all sorts of stuff like that. Anyway, that is the basics of how to use it. If you want to, one of the better things is that there are other examples. So if you want to look at the tutorials, you can click on Browse, and under Browse you'll see this link for tutorials for Voicethread, and they're much better, thorough, and better communicated than what I can do with it. So click on that, and you've got how to create, how to comment, how to share, how to doodle, and comment moderation, and you can watch all those tutorials. One thing to remind people of is that due to the basic status, we don't have options to use some of the things here, particularly in sharing. So if I just go back, just to remind you, back to home, and here, now I can make a copy of this, for example. I can make a comment of this. However, if you're accessing from the outside, you can't make a comment unless you've got paid membership. Anyway, happy voice threading, and I hope this kind of gives you a little bit of light on what you can do with it. Thanks. Bye.